And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to everybody. My name is Derek Forston. I am the owner and operator of Second Chance Housing. That's my personal independent living facility. But I'm also the founder and thought leader of Forston Consultants, and that's where my family and I, we go all over the world, sharing the gospel of this shared housing model. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. You guys have a ton of choices of where you could be on these internet streets, but because you guys chose to be here, we super appreciate that. So again, as soon as you guys kind of get into the room and get all settled in, go ahead and type in the chat what city and state you're from. We want to also make this a networking opportunity. So again, just type into the chat what city and what state you're chiming in from. We also like to know that if you're new to us, let us know. And how did you find out about us? I know that there's a lot of people that just discovered me in this other group that I'm in. But aside from even that group, if you discovered us maybe for the first time and you new to us, we also have a free gift for you. So if you type in the word new, right? And if you text the word new to 407-326-0086, that's going to allow you to get a free gift from us just for us to say thank you for being here. And also for just also to continue your education in terms of what is this independent living facility. So tonight's topic obviously started an ILF in your city. So again, no matter where you live at, no matter where you're from, there's a huge homeless problem that we're all facing. And we're all should be looking at a way to get into affordable housing. And we have introduced to the world now something that's called independent living facilities. And that is simply an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So one more time, an independent living facility is an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff, medical oversight, licensures, a sprinkler system, and all of these things that most of you all think you need when you want to start your own housing program. Got a call from a lady today that almost cried on the phone, almost enjoyed crying when she found out that she went through all of these steps to get this ALF open, just to find out that she needs to add this bathroom that takes 18 months to even get it approved to be built. Right. So again, she was like, oh my God, I had no clue that there was a version of this that I can do that doesn't require a license, and I don't need permission from ACA and DCF and all of these government entities that oftentimes when you start a licensed facility where you need permission from. So again, if you're brand new to us and if you've had the desire to house the homeless and or the displaced, we want to be the your cheat code to that, right? And one of the easy and fastest ways to be involved with us is right here, of course, on this YouTube channel. But we also have an introductory webinar that we give everybody, and you guys can get at it, and we'll put it in the chat. But if you literally just type the phrase more info to 407-326-0086, my team will send you guys the information to get started, even with that webinar. Because again, that's the starting point for most people, right? And again, you know, once you've done that, and I'm putting the number right here on the screen. Once you text that number, and again, you're just going to text more info. And that's the starting point for most people, right? When you watch that webinar also gives you a free discovery call with me. So regardless of what you're here tonight and how long you hang around us, if you want to get on the phone with me to figure out, Derek, how can I make this work in my city? Because Derek, you got the title tonight, starting ILF in your city. So if you can't get enough from this YouTube channel, because we also love questions, we beg of you to ask questions. But again, if you want more information on how this start, the first starting point is texting that number that you see on the screen and texting that phrase more info. And then let's set up a strategy call. And then again, join us every Monday, 6 p.m., every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So this is what we do. Again, if you ever had the desire to house the homeless or the displaced, again, if you want to start your own housing program, but just didn't know where to start at, that's your starting point. And then again, just here in a couple of days, probably less than 11 days away, is our 2024 Independent Living Facility Conference. So again, if you've ever dreamed to do this, guys, can be a cheat code for you, because once a year, my team and my family and I, we break down what this concept is, right? So literally in a one-day event, unless you choose to be VIP or elite, every speaker that we have that's coming to this event will be speaking on day one. This will be in Orlando, Florida. And again, that's June 21st and June 22nd. So again, that's in Orlando, Florida. And we're telling people to make a vacation out of it, right? Come and relax, enjoy yourself, but also come and learn something that can change your life. And somebody's already text that more info, because I can kind of see it when you guys do that. That's the starting point. That's going to lead you to a webinar. Because tonight we just going to talk in general. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. I'm going to be bouncing around. But the general concept of what is an independent living facility, how do you start it, run it, scale it, is in that webinar. And we want you guys to watch it and then schedule that call with me. What I'm super excited about is that anybody that takes our one-on-one coaching right now, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint, the June event is complimentary. You just come to that, right? So again, on the 21st and 22nd, that's a Friday and a Saturday. Every speaker speaks day one. Day two is for elite and VIP members, and that's the people that want to see it. You say, Derek, man, what does it look like? I want to see it, Derek. And that's what we're doing for people on day two of that event, where you actually get a chance to tour one of our active, running, and operating independent living facilities. And right here is the tickets. And again, guys, this Friday, my team just let me know, this Friday is the last day for registration. We will not sell another ticket after Friday. It's getting to that point where we're reaching our numbers, and we want to make sure that we have everything in on time in terms of the food, the great time, and all the great information. So last day to purchase these tickets will be Friday of this week, and I do believe that's the 14th. So the general admission ticket, guys, is only $397. That VIP ticket is $697, and that involves day two. That involves a swag bag. That involves personalized speaking with the speakers that are going to be coming. That elite ticket for the first time this year, we're actually allowing you to bring your spouse. So if you got a spouse or a business partner that wants to come with that elite ticket, they come complimentary, right? And then you also, with that elite ticket, you get the day two event. You also get a private dinner that night at an exclusive restaurant. And you guys also get a master class that I'm going to put all of you guys together, where we'll do a master class for probably well over 2 hours that will go further and deeper in terms of what this model is, how to scale it, and how to grow it. And again, guys, for these prices, it's unbelievable. $397 for the general, $697 for the VIP, and for that elite. And again, guys, this is one time a year where you can come and feel like you got all of my one-on-one coaching in one day. So again, guys, one time a year we do this, and this is our 2024 ILF conference. So again, that one-day event for the $397 is going to include your food, your registration, the networking, and a bunch of other stuff, including all of the speakers. The VIP ticket, we're going to see you day two on Saturday. That starts at 11 a.m. Day one starts at 9 a.m. Day two starts at 11 a.m. with the pickup from the hotel. Now, if you have transportation, we're going to give you guys the address of where the ILF is. But if not, we're going to drive you. We're providing transportation from the hotel to the ILF and also back to the hotel. So people that say, well, Derek, I want to hear all the information, but Derek, I want to see it. I want to walk through one of your facilities. That's what day two is, and that's what that VIP ticket to get you. You also get a swag bag with that, and you're also going to have a separate meet and greet with all of the speakers. Now, that elite ticket, again, is what comes with everything from the first two packages, but you also get that exclusive dinner with me and my team at a separate location that night, right? Bunch of other stuff, professional photos, but you also get that one-day masterclass, and that's what I'm excited about, to go deeper with you guys in terms of what is an ILF, Derek? How can you do this and not need a license, Derek? That's my job. That's the reason I was put on this earth, because a lot of you guys want to do this, but you just have no clue. And that's why this year's event is from, the slogan is from idea to implementation. So again, a lot of people have the thought to want to do this. They just have no clue how to get started. And that's exactly what we're here for. So this at the Hotel Landy, steps away from Universal Studios. And again, after you buy your ticket, that's when my team sends you guys the information, right? To get to actually book your hotel room. But nevertheless, I want to give a big shout out to all of my new people that just joined us. And again, if you're brand new, we got a free gift for you guys. So if you just text the word new to 407-326-0086, we got a free gift that we want to give you to say thank you for being here, and also to continue your education. So it's some free tools that you're going to need, because if you have ever dreamed of starting your own housing program, but you didn't know where to start it, God bless you, because here we are. So again, I tell most people that first step is just make a decision in terms of this is what you want to do. And if you're new to us, you don't know this, but I got a lot of 1 through 10s and 1 through 3s and 1 through 5s. But essentially, if you want to do this, if you want to house the homeless and the displaced, and you want to start an independent living facility, which is a shared environment for adults, that are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight, this is what this is. So this is not a group home. This is not an adult home daycare. And this is not an assisted living facility. And do I have anything against any of those? Absolutely not. Because June 21st, we're bringing you Miss Francesca Dawson, who has both of these. We taught Francesca the ILF model. She got started in less than 3 months and has 5 of them. Her APD home, the licensed facility, took 3 years to open. Now, don't get it twisted. She loved both of them. But she'll tell you in a heartbeat, this ILF game is like this. You can start tomorrow. Whereas the APD facility took her 3 years to open. Lots of walkthroughs and fire systems and paperwork and oversight from your state and your city and all of that stuff. So what I'm trying to tell you guys right now, the ILF model is the right now model. Nothing wrong with starting ALF, because that's how Francesca did it. Francesca said, "Dad, I'm finna get me a couple of these ILFs and I can get this group home thing later." That's the concept, ladies and gentlemen. So again, one more time, really slowly, because I know I talk fast because I get excited. But the ILF, the independent living facility model, is the exact opposite of an ALF. An ALF means assisted living. They need help, y'all. Medication management, transportation, and preparing food. Miss Lisa, those are the 3 things that get most people in trouble when they try to do this. What separates me and somebody that has a license, I just told you in case you didn't know. I don't drive these people around. I don't cook their bologna sandwich. And I do not administer medications. What's going on, Mr. D. Dornico, Miss Katara, good to see you all. Miss Tia, Simone, you're good to see everybody here. And again, if you just joined us, we're just discussing the most simplest real estate strategy to ever get into. If you've ever wanted to get into real estate, if you want to help people, because we always tell people, man, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is it. Show me something else other than being a preacher or a pastor to where you can do the will of God and get paid for it. Again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is it. Show me something else better. Because that whole group home thing, I don't have a problem with a group home or an ALF. It just takes too long. And guys, I'm a right now kind of guy. I want to make an impact right now. Now, I'm also somebody that maybe later in the future, I'll have some assisted living facilities, quite naturally, because I just house people. That's what I do. But guys, our cream of the crop is this ILF, this shared living environment, where simply I'm going to take a 4-bed, 2-bath home, a 3-bed, 2-bath home, and I'm putting 2 beds in each room. I'm going to post the pictures up here to show it to you. And again, because I'm housing people that can cook their own sandwiches, that can take their own medications and provide their own transportation to the doctor, guys, all I'm doing is providing shelter over their heads. So if you really want to be real with it, watch me be real with y'all. Guys, I'm just a glorified landlord. But I understand mental health because that's where I worked at for years before getting into this. But what makes me different from a boarding house or a rooming house or some guy that just rent rooms on Facebook? We got rules, we have structure, and it's more program-based. So watch this really slowly. The ILF model does not require a license, but we run it almost like it does. Because without structure, without balance, without rules, guys, this can be a circus. And ask me how I know, Miss Teal, because my housing was a circus in the beginning until we got it right. So welcome, everybody. This is just my intro. Your first step to get into all of this, guys, is our intro webinar. And you can get that by simply either going to our website at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, or the easiest way is to text the phrase "more info" to 407-326-0086. My team immediately sends you that webinar. After you watch it, let's schedule a call so that we can find out how you can start your ILF in your city where you live at. The next step is, again, take action. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, right? Because we give a lot of game away. You're going to see tonight that we give more game away than most of y'all paid to go to a conference or a coaching package, because that's just how we do it. So after tonight, you should be asking yourself, wow, if he gave all this game away, I wonder what the one-on-one coaching like. Watch this, though. A lot of people ask, what does it look like? We got the Taylor family, and we got the Toussaint family here tonight that was asking, Derek, what does it look like? Derek, is this a 60-bed facility? Absolutely not. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath home. This one particularly that you're looking at is my largest ILF to date. You're looking at over a 5-bedroom, 3.5-bath home. And we talk about renting these places. So for the two-son family that said, well, Derek, do you buy these places? Now I do. But when I was a social worker making $28,000 a year, there was no way I could buy these places, y'all. God showed me a vision many years ago of a lady that was making $41,000 a month doing this, y'all. She was just housing people in rats and roaches, and that's not what we do. In fact, I'm going to say that one more time. Come a little closer. Come closer to the screen. Guys, I am no genius. Without God, I'm a nobody. But with God, y'all going to think I'm a genius. God blowed on this thing about 9 years ago and showed me as a social worker that a lady was making $41,000 a month. But the only difference is, y'all, in terms of what I'm doing and what she was doing, she was housing these people, y'all, in rats and roaches and filth and in squalor. The mattresses were on the ground. No bed rails, no sheets, no comforter, no pillow. And as roaches are running in and out of the mattress, this is how she house people. That's why I said 5 minutes ago, the first step to all of this is just simply making a decision that this is something you want to do and that you want to change the lives of other people. Guys, I am no genius. I was a social worker working in the building. The same guy that I'm going to teach y'all here in about 10 minutes that you're supposed to be looking for. You're looking for the guy like me, y'all. I was a discharge planner for 9 years before the light bulb came on. And I was like, God, I want to help people. God, I want to be involved in real estate. And dummy me, everything I prayed for, Dornico, God gave it to me. He said, Derek, you want to help people? Here go a social worker job. I said, oh. But it took me 9 years to realize it. Derek, you want to be involved in real estate? Derek, here's a lady that's mistreating people through real estate, Derek, and you want to do this, Derek. So let me show you this. So, guys, I truly believe that there was just not by chance that I saw this lady housing people in rats and roaches. Guys, it was God's will for me to see that. And this is where I worked at, 206 Park Place Boulevard. I worked there for 9 years, guys, in Kissimmee, Florida. And my whole dream was to help people, involve social services in it, because that's kind of what this is, y'all. Because at the end of the day, you can call this whatever you want to, an ILF, co-living, share living. At the end of the day, guys, guess what we really doing? We managing people. And again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is a no-brainer. Because for one, it doesn't require a license. I don't have to own the property. And guys, I'm offering a shared living environment where most of these people can't afford to get their own house or their own apartment. So for the two-son family that asked me, well, Derek, why would they need you? Why would these people need this shared living environment, Derek? Why would they want to share a room? Because Miss Joanne, they can't afford to go live anywhere else. The population I serve, they can't afford to go buy their own house. They can't afford to get their own apartment. So I'm serving that population as like that middle ground, because they also can't afford an ALF. I'm serving the guy, remember, that can cook his own bologna sandwich. So the guy that doesn't fit the ALF model, because he's too well-to-do, he's too with it, he's physically able, mentally able, but he can't afford his own apartment and he can't afford his own house. Guys, that's the guy that I'm serving. And because this is a shared living environment, just to give you an example, I'm in Orlando, Florida. This room is 700 and 700. That's my shared housing. So that's 700 per bed for my shared. But what do you do when you get the call from the guy that said, well, Derek, I don't want to share your room, bro. I'm a grown man, Derek. Well, we also got private accommodations. We also got private suites. So watch me teach you right now that in this one model, the ILF model, there's 3 different ways you can live here. One is the picture that you're looking at right now. That's the shared model concept, meaning 2 people per room. The other concept is going to be that 1 bed per room, but maybe now he still shares the hallway bathroom with the guy in these 2 rooms. But boy, that private suite is for that one that said, Derek, man, I got a job, Derek. I work over here at Walmart, man, and I don't want to share no room with nobody, man. I got my own tools in my room, Derek. I keep my personal belongings in my little safe. No problem, Miss Tia, because for that guy, Miss Tia, he's going to get my private room. So in my 4-bed, 2-bath home that I would normally house 8 people, Miss Tia, I'm now only housing 7 people. 6. No, 7. Because in those other rooms, Tia, I'm literally going to be housing those 6 people. In that 1 room, I'm housing that 1 guy by himself because Tia, he don't want to share. And those prices are different from my shared. Remember, my shared is 700. That private can start at 940, 960, depending on my property and where it's located. So again, if you just joined us, I'm going to slow it down. I am introducing a model of housing that does not require a license and you don't have to own the property. These are called independent living facilities. And it's just simply an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff, without the need for oversight, without the need for a sprinkler system. Guys, it's the cheat code and the shortcut to housing. You thought you wanted to start a group home before you met me. The devil is a liar. You'll start a group home later. I'm your big brother now. We're going to start you with an ILF. You can call it shared housing. You can call it co-living. One thing about us, we actually trademarked it, right? So ILF for us, independent living facility, we actually trademarked it. So we own that. But watch this. I tell people, don't get so caught up in the name of it. You want to start a shared living environment that does not require a license. In fact, put a number 7 in the chat right now if you thought you needed a license to do this. If you thought you had to get a sprinkler system to do this, put a number 7 in the chat. If you say, Lord have mercy, well, I'm glad I found this guy, because I thought my whole life I had to have a license. I had to own the property. I had to get a sprinkler system. I had to call my state. I had to get Put a number 7 in the chat, or is it just me? I'm gonna check the chat because I want to know, is it just me? I'm going to put a 7 because Miss Gina, even as the social worker, Miss Gina, I'm working in this place. And my dream was to start one of these. And God was like, Derek, wake up, bro. Everything you asking me for, Derek, I'm showing you. You want to help people? Derek, why you think I had Shay trick you to be a social worker? And that's an inside joke for my new people. My wife, I jokingly tell people, she tricked me to go to college and get that degree. Because I was only supposed to go to the school to see what they was offering, Miss Gina. But when I got in the car, Miss Pierre, I was like, oh my God. That lady said I start next week. 4 years later, Miss Simonia, I walk across the stage in Jacksonville, Florida with a human services degree, which landed the social worker job. So see how that was all in God's plan? Because if you missed this by now, guys, we put God before everything. God first in all things. God first in business. God first in family. God first in life. So again, if you found us, you probably love God, you love people, and you probably love real estate. God is just genius enough, not Derek, because watch me not take no credit, Miss Gina. I told God years ago, I said, God, if you let me get in this, God, I'll teach it to everybody and I'll never take credit. So watch me keep my word to God again on my 9th year of doing this. And I told y'all earlier, guys, without God, I'm a nobody. But with God, I can do all things. And everybody told me in my city, Derek, you can't do this. You can't open no group home, Derek, without a license. Derek, you must be crazy. Miss Tia, you know how many people told me that this was impossible? JLM Vending. You know how many people told me I was an idiot? Derek, how you gonna start a group home, bro, and you broke yourself? You ain't got no money. Miss Gina, they said, Derek, you're gonna need a license, bro. You serious? Miss Gina, but they didn't get the vision. I said, y'all, I want to house people that don't need licensures. I want to house people that can take their own medications, that can provide their own transportation, and that can cook their own food. I don't want to house people that need to be bathed. And I got to give them food. I got to give them medications. There's a place for that, but that's not me. Watch this too, guys. I teach you to do this according to your lifestyle. Miss Pierre, man, you talked about that today. Like, what are you doing now? She said, Derek, I'm busy. I'm a workaholic. I'm a nurse, but Derek, I love to work. So I'm going to teach her according to her lifestyle. What populations fit your lifestyle when you real busy? Watch this. Here goes some free game, y'all. Guess what my favorite population is? I like the elderly adults and the military veterans because they don't bother me. They don't need nothing. They don't call for nothing. They pay rent on time, and they are afraid to be homeless. Now, that may sound cruel to somebody, but the gentleman that's afraid to be homeless, he going to pay rent on time, all the time, and sometimes early. But that rascal that don't care nothing about sleeping in the woods, he may try to dodge your rent. He may try to duck your rent. So again, because of my lifestyle is also very busy today, Miss Pierre, I coach a lot of people. I speak all over the place, all over the world now about this model. So I'm busy. So what I essentially tell people is that I don't have time to run a babysitting service, and neither do I want you guys doing that. I want y'all to house independent adults that don't need nothing from you except that roof over their head, no roaches, no rats, and a clean, safe living environment. Put a number 2 in the chat if you can do that. I'm gonna be the first one. And notice I didn't ask any of y'all for a license. Notice I didn't ask any of y'all to go call your city or your state. That's the first mistake most of y'all making right there. I made that same mistake, talking to the wrong people, calling the wrong people, explaining it the wrong way, because now they think I want to open a group home. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want to open a group home. In fact, I'll be honest with you. Watch this. We don't even like the group home word, because where I live at in Orlando, Florida, group home has a stigma that's attached to it. People hate it. So, Miss Gina, I don't like the word group home. Personally, I prefer the word housing program, independent living facility, co-living, shared living, shared housing, communal living. Must I go on? I got a bunch of them. And that's why I told you guys 19 minutes ago, Mr. Ron, don't get so caught up on what the name of it is. Just understand that this is an environment where adults can live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. And this is what it looks like. Does this make sense, everybody? Am I losing anybody? Because I think I do a pretty good job of explaining stuff. And trust me, I got a lot of questions to answer tonight because y'all gave them to me. But just on the forefront of what I just explained, does everybody get this? Give me 5 people that say, yep, Derek, I get it. You ain't lost me, bro. But if it's one person in this room that is lost right now, I do a great job of breaking stuff down. And by all means, if you got any questions or any concerns, you let me know, because this is what I do. I promised God over 8 years ago, I said, God, if you give it to me and you let me leave my little measly $28,000 a year job, God, I'll teach it all over the world and I'll never take no credit. So we're here every Monday, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and they're all recorded. Okay? Simone said, I get it. Anybody else that get it? Anybody that's lost? Because I want to make sure that I don't lose anybody today. Let's take a quick commercial break. I'm going to pay some bills and we're going to be right back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. I super appreciate it. As you guys can see, we love this and I love to teach it. So big shout out to Harry, Mr. Ron, Miss Gina, Simonia, Charmaine tripped me out today, y'all. Charmaine, big shout out to Charmaine Sanders, y'all. Charmaine is somebody that I would call that moves at the speed of instruction. Charmaine only discovered us about 2 days ago and bought 3 tickets to the June event. So Charmaine, I look forward to meeting you and your family, and you guys are going to be great. Charmaine, boy, you blowed us today. We was like, wait a minute, somebody about 3 tickets? So we appreciate that. So again, guys, if you just joined us again, I'm sharing the concept of what's called an independent living facility, which is simply a housing model that you can start that doesn't require a license. You don't need a sprinkler system. And most important for most of y'all, you don't have to go and buy this place. We do something that's called rental arbitrage. And again, if you're super new to us, we have our 2024 Independent Living Facility Conference coming up. It's June 21st and June 22nd. You're going to visit ilfconference.com. In fact, Miss Charmaine, if you can type it in the chat for me, since you bought 3 tickets today, type in the chat ilfconference.com. That's where Miss Charmaine went and bought her 3 tickets from. Okay. So again, I want to start answering some of the questions as well. So there's a question that says, Derek, do you guys only house the homeless? I noticed that you said in your webinar that you had a job that housed the homeless at a mental health hospital. Great question. First of all, that's my favorite. So because of where I worked at, Miss Taylor, I worked at a mental health hospital for over 9 years. So naturally, that's kind of where my love is at. I also love older people. Ever since I was little, I always cater to older people for some reason. I don't know why, but I got a soft heart for older people. And when I say older, I ain't talking 50 and 60. I'm talking 70, 80, 90. My oldest client to date, Miss Jane, is 90, 93. And I got a picture of him and me. He's showing me how to ride a bicycle because he's an avid bicycle rider at 93 years old, guys, but would be homeless on the street without me. Back to the point. When we first started, yes, we only housed the homeless and the displaced. But because of the economy and how things are going now, over the last probably 18 to 22 months, 24 months, we've been housing what I'm going to call the everyday Joe. So it's the guy that's got a job. You working with him every day, Miss Jennifer. When you go to your job and you go home in the evening, that guy go and park at the Walmart parking lot and sleeps till the next morning. So we get a lot of calls for that. And if you're new to me, we literally just posted on my Facebook channel. I think, and also our free Facebook group, the ILF Academy. Join that. I posted a video of a gentleman that literally called us that's been sleeping in the airport for 2 months. How in the world do you sleep in the airport for 2 months? And I tell people, if you don't know how, that means you're blessed. You have a place to live. But this gentleman, and what I'm finding out, this is the thing, that a lot of people will pose to be catching a flight. They have their things in a suitcase, but they're sleeping in the airport until about 4:30 in the morning when that other staff comes in and starts moving people along. We're housing a guy like that right now, but guess what? He got a job making $19 an hour. So he is not the mental health guy. He is not the physical health guy. He is the guy that I just explained to you that can't afford his own apartment, can't afford his own house, fell on bad times and moved from Fort Lauderdale, but is now here in Orlando. Ran into a social worker who called us. That's how this all works, guys. Somebody's going to run into a social worker or some kind of social service setting. That's where the phone call is going to come from. That's why I tell people, man, this is nothing but social services, the love of God, and housing all mixed together. God just allowed us to put it into a blender and we pour it all over the world. And that's why I tell people, and that's the slogan of this event. It's 2 slogans that we're going by. One is from idea to implementation. Because most of you guys have the idea to do this. You just have no clue that it was possible or where to start. That's why you got me. Number 2, that we tell people, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, show me something that's better that can change your life, your community, and the city that you live in, and create generational wealth. A lot of people are throwing that phrase around really loosely here lately, right? But we truly believe that with this model, which a lot of people are calling real estate on steroids, now we don't call it that, but can you imagine taking a 4-bed, 2-bath home and rent to 8 people? That's what I do. I also have another housing that I don't talk about a lot, but we also do Section 8. We also house complete families. But in this shared model, guess why people call it real estate on steroids? Because my other houses, that's a mom, dad, and 3 kids. That's one source of income. Maybe 2 sources if mom and dad has a job. But guess what, Miss Tia? If dad loses that job or mom gets laid off, guess what happened? The rent man, me, ain't going to get a dime of that money. Because they got to buy grocery, they got to keep the lights on, and they got to keep on the water for their kids. The rent guy is the last guy to get paid. That's why with this shared housing model, when you're housing multiple people, it's similar to a multifamily. So the next time you're talking to your friend or your business partner on your lunch break, say, boy, I heard this guy, Derek, man, he was talking about this shared housing, bro. He gave an example that is similar to a multifamily. Just like if you had an 8-unit or a 4-unit building. And the example that I always give, Jennifer, is that I got a friend that owns an 8-unit building. He houses families. But I can go and rent a 4-bed, 2-bath home, and we both house 8 people. Do you guys understand that? Can 2 people type the word yes if you just got what I just said? My buddy spent a bunch of money buying an 8-unit building. He's housing 8 families. I can go and get a 4-bed, 2-bath home and put 2 beds in each room, and I'm making a bigger impact. I'm making more money, and I'm serving my community of the least of thee. Now, you're going to hear me say probably 4 or 5 times a day, I'm no preacher. I'm no pastor and I'm no bishop, but we love God. We love people and we love real estate. And this is ministry, ladies and gentlemen. You can call this whatever you want to, but guess what you're really doing? You're doing ministry. You thought you had to have a microphone and you thought you had to be on the stage to do ministry. The devil is a liar. Because guess what? Not Derek, but the Bible says the poor and needy will always be among us. The Bible also said that we are to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. And guess how we're doing that, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Harry, congratulations, sir. You're doing it through real estate now. And that's the cheat code to life. I tell everybody this that I coach, whether I'm coaching on the business side, because we just coach this straight business too, or this shared housing model. Watch this. I tell people, can you imagine having a business to where the blessing of God was already built into it? Miss Tanya, can you imagine that? Simone, can you imagine that? Joanne, can you imagine? Joanne, you can imagine it because you're doing it now. Joanne, you just like a lot of my new people here now. They're here, they're here just listening like, oh my God, this is possible. That was Joanne, y'all. She's doing it now and got 2 of them. That was Dornico not long ago and got over 5 of them now. And I can name multiple people that are in this room that sat here just like y'all did say, wow, I can't believe this is possible. It is, y'all, because they told me that it wasn't too. They lied to me too, y'all. That's why the post I posted today, get rid of the haters. Don't listen to the haters. Because everybody that's going to eventually hate on you, they ain't doing nothing anyway. It's always the people that are not doing anything that'll discourage you. Derek, you can't do that. Derek, you can't start no group home. You crazy. Y'all, everybody told me that. And when you ask the wrong people, meaning even people in your city, that's what's one of my biggest mistakes, y'all. I'm calling asking everybody permission, not a beg for it. My wife, Shay, I think is in the back channel. Shay, if you could do me a favor and queue up that walkthrough that we had with those 15 case managers, I want to show people the possibility of how case managers walk through our facility and beg for this product. Because guys, remember, we're not setting alarm systems here. We're not setting that fundraiser candy that your kids come home with. This is an absolute need in your city. Look at the title, ladies and gentlemen. Starting in ILF in your city, not my city. I got a bunch of these already. Guys, through the teaching of what this is, we're now in over 34 states, over 360 ILFs, and they're not all mine. When you guys become family, that's when we keep adding to that number. And we're going to get to the coaching later, but as you can see already, we give more right here on this free live than a lot of y'all get for stuff y'all paid for. And again, it's a promise that I made to God many years ago, that God, if you give it to me, I promise I'll go all over the world teaching it and I'll never take credit. Guys, I barely graduated high school, right? So this isn't rocket science per se. This has the love of God in it, social services, and housing. And I don't care where you live at, affordable housing is a problem. And that's why for this event, June 21st and June 22nd, we invited a lot of pastors, bishops, church leadership, because they need it. All the needs come to the church anyway. So why not be a beacon of light that you already are by offering this affordable housing? Let's take a break, guys, and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forstonconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for a Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forstonconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. So thank y'all so much again for being here. We super appreciate it. If I can get about 10 of y'all to share the room to either your own personal page or to somebody else, don't hog up this information for yourself, guys. Share this with your pastor, your bishop, your church, or share it with your business partner. Anybody that loves real estate, loves God, and loves people. Tell them you found the way that they can merge it all together. Because again, guys, you can't lose in life, man, if you have a business where the blessing of God is already tied into it, because of what God has asked us to do. The Bible said it, not Derek, that when you do to the least of thee, the marginalized, the homeless, God said it's like you're doing it unto me. So again, you show me something else that you can do in life to where God's blessing is tied into it. And trust me, I'll try it, y'all. But God has already gave me the instruction. Derek helped the poor, the needy, and the widow, bro. And Derek, lucky for you, these people got a guaranteed income. We serve people that receive SSI, SSDI. Does that make sense, everybody? Two really small, easy questions. I'm going to knock these out, and I'm going to go to Jennifer's question. Somebody said, what is ILF? You must have just came, but ILF stands for Independent Living Facility. And that just means an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So this is the opposite of a group home, the opposite of an ALF. It's kind of like a group home, but without all the red tape to get into it. That's the major cheat code. There is no red tape to get into this because of the population that we serve. And they must be independent, because if they're not independent, you will need a license. That right there is a major teaching moment for somebody. That's why you need a license, guys, because the people you're serving, they need additional services. Not my people. My people can make their own bologna sandwich. They can make their own Kool-Aid. In fact, they don't even want me cooking their food. And that's why I like it. They can swallow their own pills. I don't need a nurse. And guys, they provide their own transportation through Uber, Lyft, or the insurance company. I don't drive these people around, you guys. That's what the ILF means, ladies and gentlemen. Another small one. Why did I choose the mental health population? Very easy. I talked about that earlier because that's where I worked at. That's why I saw the vision at. But today, remember, I told you, because of the economy and it's expensive to live anywhere, we now house the everyday Joe, the guy that's got a 9-to-5 job. He just can't afford to get his own apartment or his own house. Okay? And then the last small one was, Derek, how can you do this again with no license? Again, I just said it, but I'll repeat it 30 times because I love this. The reason why we don't need a license is because, prime example, I'm going to give you a name of one of my clients randomly. Mr. Randall. Mr. Randall is about 71 years old. He cooks his own food. He takes his own medications, and his family takes him to the doctor appointments. He's completely with it mentally, no mental illness, and he's very healthy physically. He just fell on hard times. Ex-wife died a couple years ago. His income changed in life. So a lot of people that we get, guys, that they were married. The spouse dies or passes away, the income changes. They can't afford that apartment now or that house now. They end up in a hospital. Some social worker gives me a call. That's the whole cycle of this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, I used to be the social worker. So they all came to me. I'm just on the other side of it now, and that's where we're now leading you all to be on the other side of this thing. Does that make sense now? Jennifer says, are you naming your homes? Absolutely. So if you've ever been to my website, you'll see Glen Lake 1, Glen Lake 2, Glen Lake 3, Glen Lake 4, the estate, the newest one, which we changed the name. It used to be called the Bel Air, but that's interesting story. If you go to my housing programs website, schousinginfo.com, you will see the Bel Air. The Bel Air is now the Maryland. Shay bought that house. So many years ago, we rented it as a rental. The owner came back years later and almost begged us to buy it. Shay owns that house now. My wife does this from the Angela Denise Foundation from a nonprofit standpoint. So when you guys come to that June event, you're going to hear and you're going to see the difference of me running it from an LLC standpoint, but my wife does this from a nonprofit. And again, June 21st and June 22nd in Orlando, Florida, we're going to break this whole game down to you guys. There's over 10 different speakers that you're going to hear from. And the slogan for this event in June, guys, is from idea to implementation. That means that you had the idea to do this, but no clue where to start. Now you found me. God bless you, because here we go. Okay. Friday and Saturday are the 2 days. Every speaker speaks on Friday. Day 2 is only for the VIP and the elite, and that's the tour for the VIP of an active running facility, which is the Maryland, which is Shay's newest facility for her women. And then the elite members, remember, you can actually bring your spouse for free, your business partner for free with that elite ticket. Does that make sense, everybody? So that covers that event. And Friday of this week is the last day to buy your ticket. We are cutting it off Friday at 5 p.m. So again, 5 p.m. Friday, we are cutting it off. And again, if you just joined us, we're showing you guys how to start your own housing shared program without needing a license, without having to buy the house, and without needing a sprinkler system or getting permission from your state. And the reason you're able to do that, again, if you're housing independent adults that don't need any other outside services. Notice I got louder when I said that because I really want you guys to get it. If you got a guy that when you assess him, he needs you to feed him, bathe him, give him administer his medications, he's not a good fit. Okay. Jennifer says, okay, if they have to take meds, are you offering a locked box for them to put their meds in for safety and others? Yes. So all of our clients, most of them, right, a part of our housing and the drawers that we give them, they can store their meds in it. Absolutely. And it's so funny that a lot of my clients that are in the same house, Jennifer, they're all sometimes on the same meds. Right. So we're not worried about people stealing meds or anything. And these are mental health medications. So again, but that's a great question. Yes. I know people that even buy the lock boxes to lock up meds. And I'll even go a step further, Jennifer. Jennifer, if I have a guy that's coming from a substance abuse unit, and let's just say he's prescribed Suboxone. For you that don't know what that is, that's a downgraded version of, hate to say it, but heroin. And it's to get you off of it. It's a medication, but it is used also by bad people to still get high from it because it is slightly a version of the actual drug. And it's called Suboxone. Whenever we get a call from a social worker that asks, and the question sounds like, hey, Derek, I'm going to be discharging Joshua Friday. You said that you'll take him, but Derek, we forgot to tell you. He's on Suboxone. Are you okay with him bringing that home? So we assess that by case scenario because I'm going to judge his responsibility. Because if he's not responsible, or if we don't have a lockbox so he can't get one, that can't come in my place. But more than likely, because the way that we're set up, I'm going to be okay with that because I'm also on his side for him trying to get better. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Miss Gina said, when they move in, are the tenant signing a lease? Absolutely. In fact, we call it something a little different, but it is a lease. Nobody moves in without paperwork, Miss Gina. And that's one thing about our coaching. Our coaching actually comes with all the paperwork, so you don't have to figure it out. Some people get these coaching programs and have to figure out everything still for themselves afterwards. We don't do that. In fact, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to bring it up here. Keep the questions coming too, because we love questions. Let me see. The next question says, so when you get insurance for your ILF, what are you calling it? That's a great question. Miss Renee Scott, who covers all of us, she's coming to this event June 21st. So she's going to explain to people, no matter where you live at, what's the verbiage you should be using. That's another mistake that a lot of people get. And I'll admit that was my first biggest mistake, Miss Jennifer, getting started in this and not being covered the proper way. That causes usually about a $30,000 lawsuit, right? Took 2 years to fight it. But essentially, here's a major gem that I'm gonna just give you all, right? One of the biggest mistakes that I made, in fact, it's in my new book that's already out. I just haven't released it. It's called what is it? The 14 dumbest mistakes I've ever made. One of those mistakes was putting the lease in my personal name. Let me save y'all a lawsuit and a bunch of money and trouble. When you're doing this, and if you go out and lease or rent that place, do not put that lease in your personal name. That is an absolute no-no. Okay, you want to get that in your company's name. Do not, one more time, that cost me $30,000 in 2 years of lawsuit going through the fight of it. Do not put that lease in your personal name. That agreement with that homeowner must know that you are running a business out of his house. If he don't like that, if he don't understand it, you move to the next one. Under my coaching, that's what I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Miss Linda said, do you have a list of what comes with the coaching? I absolutely do. You and the Two Something family want to know that. So I'm actually going to bring it up right now. What a lot of people have been excited about is that we're allowing you guys to split it. Some coaches hate to do that, meaning like allow two people to get one product. We actually don't mind it. We like it because it serves as an accountability partner for a lot of people. So right here is our ILF Mastery Blueprint, and it comes with everything, Miss Linda. I think, in fact, if that's the same Miss Linda, yep, and it is Linda Speed. So Linda, you know that this is something that you and I spoke about, right? And this is like a business in a box because everything that you need comes with it. So not only do we build your website, we build your logo, so your internet presence. Everybody in 2024, you need an internet presence. It's kind of sad, but I'm glad that I'm helping people. A lot of people that I'm talking to here lately are complaining about, Derek, I got a house, but I can't feel it. And I just found you on Facebook, Derek. Or Derek, I found you on YouTube. And Derek, I got a house, but I can't get no people in it. I ask two questions every time, and most people fail right here. Do you have a website? No. Do you have social media where you're posting every day? No. So my coaching gonna teach you this. Whether you fry the best fried chicken or bake the best chocolate chip cookies, how will people know to come buy it from you if you never advertise it? Whether word of mouth or just simply on social media. Most of y'all are in this room right now because you saw me on social media. Now, lucky for me, I got a team of virtual assistants that do all of that, which you get in this same package. We get virtual assistants, VAs from the Philippines to do a lot of our work for us, finding social workers, finding case managers, setting up appointments at hospitals, cold calling hospitals, cold calling social workers, emailing social workers. Right here is Jess, ladies and gentlemen. I trained Jess 15 months ago to be me. I'm going to pause because I'm going to let y'all get that soaked in. 15 months ago, I trained Jess, who lives in the Philippines, which is 12 hours away from me. Right now, where I live at is 6:52 p.m. Where Jess lives at is 6:52 a.m. They live in a completely different world, time zone, third country, all of that. And at $5 an hour, which makes them almost rich, is very affordable for me. So 15 months ago, I trained Jess to answer all my phone calls. She does social media. More importantly, she's in charge of my calendar. She does all the reach out to the hospitals and social workers and case managers. 3 to 4 to sometimes 5 days a week, Miss Jennifer, I'm at a hospital because of what Jess done. Charmaine, can you believe that? Because Charmaine, you're thinking that I'm calling all of these hospitals and I'm showing up with my coffee and donuts. Jess is doing all of that because I'm trying to be the hero in the community. And I can't do that trying to call people and trying to figure out social media and building a Facebook page. I can't do any of that stuff. But these VAs, that's what they're good at. So one more time, which is a part of this package, most important is the one-on-one coaching. We're going to build your logo. We're going to build your website. You need a website, ladies and gentlemen. We're also going to give you that one-on-one coaching. That's most important because, again, without me and Shay and my team, you're going to be scratching your head. I don't want you to scratch your head once you meet me, right? Every ebook, every curriculum that we've ever created when it comes to housing and this shared housing model, you get it. Every course, every curriculum, every ebook, you get it. My newest book that ain't even dropped yet, you get that. You don't pay for it. The HRA, everybody starts here. I don't care where you at with experience. If you meet me, everybody starts as a housing referral agency. Why? Because the coaching is the same between the housing referral agency and you actually doing it. This is going to teach you all of the steps to get that phone ringing. How do you find these social workers and case managers? How do you refer to people to make an income and an impact and not need the property? So if you are in this room today and God is putting your heart to house people, you say, well, Derek, I can't buy no house. And Derek, right now, I can't rent one either, bro. No problem. Because if you got a cell phone and the willingness to run your mouth and tell people you provide housing, the HRA is where you're going to start. We got a 14-minute webinar that breaks that down and it's free of how you can start the HRA tomorrow and house the homeless and the displaced. Prime example, I have 2 beds in Kissimmee open. I got 2 beds in Orlando open. Y'all can refer somebody to me tomorrow and I'll pay you for it. That's what the HRA is. And all of that's inside of here. The HRA course, the HRA ebook, the HRA curriculum, The HRA SOPs, meaning how do you do this if you never spoke to me again? We give it to you in the SOP of the how-to. We give you the email scripts, the phone scripts. And remember, because you're going to be busy probably at your job, remember, I'm giving you a virtual assistant to do all of this for you. So in this course, again, how do you acquire the property? I put it in an ebook and you still got me. You get the role play, you get the medication stuff. And again, there's that VA that I keep talking about. And then every community that we have in terms of our VIP communities, you also get that. And more importantly, you get the conference for free. So you come to the conference absolutely on me. So our coaching, guys, is originally 15 grand, but most people get it on scholarship at 7,500. So there's an easy way to get the scholarship, and we allow people to split that. So whatever 7,500 divided by 2 is, if you met me tonight and you said, Lord have mercy, I want this. This guy, like, they got it. And I can come to the June event for free. And if you meet somebody here, you can actually split it. We don't mind that. And we do that quite often, actually. And you guys use each other as family and as a leverage in partnership to lean on each other. So to Miss Linda, any questions about that? But most important to me is the one-on-one coaching. You stuck with me for life unless you break up with me, okay? Your footprint on the internet, which is your website, we're going to build it because we're going to give you an all-in-one platform that comes with your phone, your text messaging, your CRM, and your website all in one. We gift you with all of this stuff. Your logo, that virtual assistant, and all the coaching material, the paperwork that you need to run it, I give it to you. Because I don't want y'all trying to make up this stuff and be scratching your head and trying to figure things out. They did that to me 8 years ago. My job is when y'all meet me, because I promised this to God. Not because I know you. I don't know you. But I promised to God 8 years ago. I said, God, if you let me get in this, and God, you let me quit my job doing it, God, I'll go all over the world teaching it, and I'll never take no credit. So here I go again, telling you that I don't take credit for this, guys. I'm no genius. I never been the smartest guy in the classroom, but guess what sets me apart from a lot of people? I love God, I love people, and I love real estate. And God is so genius that he allowed me to merge them together, because that's all this is, y'all. It's real estate, the love of God, and social services. Because what's going to serve as your funnel system is the social workers, is the case managers. And Shay, if you can hear me, pull up that slide real quick. I want to show these folks something real quick, especially my new people. And again, if you got questions, let me know. But
hey,
yeah, this
Derek,
is
sorry
everything.
about that.
This
Are you
is
asking?
everything. Those pictures of the walkthrough of the
You
social
got it.
workers. Another question in the chat says, do you require clients to complete a background check? Great question, Charmaine. So what I'm going to do, Charmaine, is I'm not going to pay for a background check usually. All of my information about Brad Jones is coming from the social worker. They're going to give me something that's called a psychosocial, meaning everything in his background of how they know him. Medications, history, aggression, family, everything that I need to know. But watch this. I also coach and teach you this. Miss Charmaine, you do whatever you need to do to make you feel comfortable with making a good decision about who moves in your place. And one thing that we start with, Miss Charmaine, is that as our assessment. Now, we're not trying to go too deep. Our assessment is a series of questions that allow you, Miss Charmaine, to make a sound decision about who moving in your place. And no question is off limits. But to answer your original question, I'll admit, I don't go and pay for a background check. I'm going to get all my information from him, from the social worker or the case manager and his psychosocial. Because one thing about the clients that we serve, if they go to hospital, there's a trail that follows them. You're going to get that from the social worker. So if you never knew that, that's a gem for you tonight. Don't take a client. Don't let some social worker just call you and say, hey, Miss Charmaine, how you doing today, girl? Great. Charmaine, I got a great guy. His name is Bobby Wilson, and he's 73 years old. And can you pick him up tomorrow, Miss Charmaine? Miss Charmaine. Now, when I first started, Miss Charmaine, I said, yep, I can come get it one time. But that's the dumbest thing ever, because that's what starts a clown show. So now today, first of all, the call don't come to me. The call come to this VA. Because remember, I'm going to give y'all a VA with this package. Unless you say, well, Derek, I'm good, man. I'm retired, and Derek, I love that telephone, man. I don't need no VA, no problem. Very few people say I don't want the VA, but if you do, no problem. But more than likely, they're going to call Jess. Jess is going to do the whole assessment, and Jess is going to tell me what she thinks of Jason Wilson, of Craig Jones. And then I'm going to do my final and talk to him and move him in. Watch this. No different from the other day when Jess got the call from the guy that was sleeping in the airport. That call didn't come to me. That call went through a social worker that went to Jess, and Jess said, hey, Mr. Derek, got another one. But Derek, this guy sounds good. I like him, Mr. Derek. And Derek, there's no mental health, no physical health, but Derek, he's been living at the airport for 2 months. And Derek, according to my assessment, he passes. But Derek, just to make sure that I don't mess it up, you talk to him too, Derek, and you make the final say. That's how when Jess and I do our thing. Because remember, I told you 8 minutes ago, I trained Jess 15 months ago to be me. How powerful is that, y'all? And guess what Jess just did, y'all, making $5 an hour? Jess just bought a brand new car. Because in the Philippines, where Jess lives at, $5 an hour is a lot of money in terms of what they do and where they live at. And where you live at, $5 an hour is very affordable for you. Does that make sense, everybody? How we're leveraging virtual assistants to do a lot of the legwork for us? Give me 5 people to put yes in the chat if you understand how we're leveraging virtual assistants at $5 an hour to do a lot of the jobs that you guys don't know how to do. Because, guys, I'll admit, I'm not very techie. I can barely turn my computer on. I'm not that good with techie stuff and building things on the internet, social media. Most of y'all can't build your own social media page, your business Instagram page, but these VAs can. So, Miss Linda, that's why I give y'all the virtual assistant, because I know it's tough. The only thing you're responsible for is paying that $5 an hour, though. Now, that's not on me, but to give you and gift you a virtual assistant of what it will cost, that's free, and I waive it. That's on us.
Derek,
Shay, you got those slides up?
hey. So good evening, everybody. This is Shay Forston, president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation and co-founder here at Forston Consultants. What I did want to add to this is I'm going to drop a little gem tonight because you're talking about how the virtual assistants assist us in pretty much doing our assessments and intake processes. What I want people to also know is that all of the background information that you're wanting to get done or wanting to conduct but prior to bringing in a resident, you can find that in your local, it's public knowledge. A person's background, record is public knowledge to a certain extent. And why not utilize the virtual assistant to filter through those court files or documents to see if they've ever been convicted of anything in your local area, or even if they've come from somewhere else. So that's another opportunity that you have with having the virtual assistant. Doing the legwork, right? Another thing, Derek, when it comes to this particular housing model, a lot of times, there's a huge percentage of our residents that do come with a background. It's just up to you to filter, what you would accept and what you will not accept into your housing program. But ultimately, that is where we differ from a lot of other people. People with that background are unable to obtain suitable housing. So that's where we are being able to meet the need and fill in that gap and help those that, may have a criminal background, may have a history, but now they're on the up and up and trying to reestablish themselves in the community. And what better way to do so than by being that provider of hope for them when everybody else turns them away. So that's what I wanted to share with that. And here are your photos, sir.
Absolutely. So the Toussaint family, I just want to go over this really quick for you all. Shay is sharing this from a phone perspective, so it's going to look a little bit different. In fact, my VAs that'll watch this live later, these pictures that Shay are showing, can y'all put this on a slide for me? I don't like for Shay to have to go through her phone to do it. So April or Tara, when you guys rehear this replay, put the pictures from what Shay is getting ready to show into an actual PowerPoint so that I can control it as well. Okay, so I'm going to put in the chat because somebody just texted. If you want to split the cost of our coaching with somebody else, you say, well, Derek, I got my half. We want you guys to text the word half to 407-326-0086. That means you want to split that 7,500 with somebody else. And don't forget, the June event is complimentary. So in less than 10 days, you come see me in Orlando, Florida for free. So again, if you want to go half with somebody on the ILF Mastery Blueprint, text the word half to 407-326-0086. And they're scrolling that same number at the bottom of the screen. And again, this is if you want to go half with somebody and you already got your half. Don't just type it. But if you already have your half and you're ready to go, let us know. Or if you bringing in somebody that's going to go half, let us know. Because if we get somebody and there's an even number, we'll just match you guys up. Okay? So whether you know that person or not, if you want to take advantage of splitting that 7,500 in half, just let us know. And that's for the Toussaint family as well. So let's go. So Miss Gina says, are there any cases that you will not accept? So Miss Gina, we always answer that by saying everybody's on a case by case. And usually when people ask that question, they're talking about sexual offenders or people that have committed some kind of sexual offense in terms of a crime. So what I'll tell people, it's hard for me to take a guy that raped a 9-year-old girl and he just did that about 5 years ago. That's tough. That's a personal choice for me. I may not house that guy because of how I feel. I don't know. But the guy that said, Derek, this happened 35 years ago, bro. I made a dumb decision, man. And now he's 78 years old. I'm going to probably give him a chance. But just look at the example of what I showed you of how with this model, it's still my decision. I also got to make a sound decision for my neighborhood, for my community, and for also who else is living there. So Shay talk about this a lot of times when she talk about her program. When you're interviewing one of these clients, Miss Gina, you should be already thinking about Paul, John, and Jose because they're already living in your place. So when you're interviewing Craig need to be able to mesh with these guys because if not, he going to mess up the whole house. Ask me how I know. It's happened. So now when I'm interviewing a client, I'm already thinking about my other guys that are already living there. Because if he don't match with what's already happening, he can't come live here, guys. It's not going to work. But because of what the HRA does, remember, I can refer him to somebody else and still make an impact and an income. And it sounds like this. Hey, Robert, man, right now we don't have no beds available, but I'm going to do this for you, big bro. I'm going to put you on our waiting list. I know 10 other housing programs, and I'm going to give them a call as well to see if they have a bed for you too, sir. See how you turn that into a good situation? So no matter what call we get, we never say, oh, we can't help you. Click. Even if I'm full, that's when you run the HRA play. Remember, the HRA allows you guys to house the homeless and the displaced, and you never need the property. You just got to know other people that have the property because you're going to leverage other people. That's the whole play with the HRA, guys. You don't need real estate. You need relationship. I tell a lot of you guys in this model, sometimes you don't need the real estate. You need the relationship. And then sometimes because of that relationship, the real estate will follow. Ask Katara. Ask Dornico. Ask me. Ask a couple people that are already in this room to where the real estate came from a relationship. Not because you were so great, but because of a relationship that was already kind of brought up. Make sense, everybody? I'm going to go back to the chat real quick. Actually, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Let's get a word from David and Dennis. And when we get back, let me know what y'all think of these two guys, David and Dennis. So Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on. So Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forston Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them that we're available.
Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro?
David, remember the reason why we don't need a license? Because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food. Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much? Well, first of all, I graduated from Forston Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forston crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there. So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this? The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it. And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening, but where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man. David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David. Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. No problem. All right, let's go. Let's go. Give it up for David and Dennis. Y'all got to forgive David. Now, he's a little bit of a knucklehead. He don't quite get it right away, but Dennis got him through every time. So I want to answer some more questions real quick. Somebody asked, do you guys provide Meals on Wheels if it's an older person and they can't kind of fend for themselves? Actually, ma'am, that's a great idea. I love that, right? And we have done that, and we do that. I also saw that Miss Joanne answered and said yes to that. And what I love about it, I told you this earlier in case you guys missed it. Joanne was just like you guys, seemingly not long ago, right? Listening in a room, say, wow, this sounds cool. I want to do that. And now Joanne's up and running and going, and she's in Racine, Wisconsin, doing great at it, and has 2 of them now. So I love that idea. If you have somebody that can't quite feed or prepare food for themselves, Meals on Wheels could be a great option that could serve as what we would call a third party. See, you are actually going into something that a lot of people also ask us to. Derek, do you allow third-party services to be rendered in your home? Absolutely. Especially if it's something that needs to be licensed and I'm not licensed. That's how you win, guys, and that's the cheat code. So I hope y'all feeling me today, right? You can start this program without a license, without all of that stuff of jumping through red tape, but then bring in licensed people to render the services if need be. Does that make sense? No different from my guy Lewis that broke his ankle about 4 months ago. Lewis is a big guy, heavy guy. In fact, he broke both ankles. Services were rendered to him to come into Lewis. Does that make sense? Because I'm not a nurse. I can't bandage his leg and change his wound thing and all of that stuff. I'm not a nurse. But do I allow it in my facility? Absolutely. No different from the phone call that we got about 3 days ago. Derek, I got a lady coming from the rehab center, and Derek, she's going to get home health for about 3 months. Well, ma'am, can you tell me what that means? Well, Derek, somebody's going to come and change her bandages. Somebody's going to teach her how to get in and out of the tub. And they're going to teach her different life skills, Derek, because after the 3 months, it's over. And Derek, she'll be good after that because before the rehab, Derek, she was perfect before her fall down and breaking her hip. See how that goes, y'all? So I allow those third-party services. No problem. Next question, Shay. I think you brought up one. I think you had one, Shay. At what point do you accept a fee if you're referring someone out? Love this question, right? Make sure you watch that free webinar. It's called the HRA, absolutely free. And you get it by typing the phrase more info to that number that's going across the screen. So if you type more info or text more info to 407-326-0086, watch both of them. But the HRA is only 14 minutes long, and it talks a lot about what you're asking here. You're going to receive that fee, Miss Gina, as soon as the person moves in. Watch this, Gina. This me and you now, Gina. So, Gina, I get a call from a social worker. And because I'm full to capacity, I'm going to go, hey, Miss Gina, how's it going? Great. Gina, I'm so glad, boy, you bought our coaching last week. And Gina, I'm full. And Gina, I got 3 clients that need an assessment from you. Now, Gina, I already took the call. I've already talked to Joe, Marcus, and Craig. And Gina, they all sound pretty great. But Miss Gina, this is your house. You and your husband gonna run this place the way y'all want to. So Gina, interview these guys, but Gina, don't forget now, if you take them, they are $300 a piece. Gina, when you interview Greg, Brian, and Craig, whoever the names was I said, and if they move in, Miss Gina, and when they pay you rent, Miss Gina, you owe me a referral fee. That's when I get paid, Miss Gina, when they move in. And Miss Gina, I take Zelle, Venmo, Cash App. You can bring it to me, bank transfer, PayPal, and that's how we teach it, Miss Gina. So tomorrow, Miss Gina, you can start this HRA tomorrow. Because all it requires, watch this. I'm going to give you your first Facebook post right now. Watch this, and this is for everybody. Whether you have a house or not, because this is going to scare people that don't have a house. You say, well, Derek, why would I say that if I don't have a house, Derek? And this is how it sounds. What's up, Facebook family? Just like that. Pause. Think about it. We have a, let me reword it. Hold on. What's up, Facebook family? Do you rent rooms to people? Do you have a housing program? Do you have empty beds and have trouble filling them? Give us a call at Crawford Solutions. This is exactly what we do. We fill empty beds. Miss Gina, you and your husband can do this tomorrow. And what happens if you get that call? Hey, Miss Gina, I saw your post on Facebook. Girl, I'm a social worker over here at Advent Health, and I got 5 clients that are being discharged Friday. And right now, Miss Gina, they have nowhere to go. I'm so glad I saw your post on social media. We get that all the time, Gina. And now my teaching will teach you this. You got to find out who in your city already doing something that's similar to this or doing this until you get your own. Because the HRA is going to teach you who in your city may be doing this already that you don't know of. That's why the Facebook post sounds like this. Do you rent rooms to people? Do you have a group home or an ILF? Do you just house people? Do you have empty beds? Call us at Crawford Solutions because we fill empty beds. See how in my post I'm targeting who I'm looking for, ladies and gentlemen? I'm looking for the guy that's trying to do this. But he don't know how to. He hadn't watched my webinar. But Gina, you have. And Gina, you're going to learn how to, especially if you get the HRA business in a box. Or if you get one of the coaching plans that comes with it. Does that make sense, everybody? Or am I losing anybody? Same thing. Give me 3 people that say, Derek, I get it. But if I'm losing you, let me know. But I just told Miss Gina she can start this tomorrow. And watch this, Gina, because everybody asks this. Derek, can I do this only in my city? Gina, I told you 15 minutes ago that I got beds in Orlando and Kissimmee that need to be filled. Why wouldn't you do the research for hospitals in Orlando and Kissimmee? The HRA works in all 50 states, ladies and gentlemen. So all you're doing essentially is doing the research of where the need is. Watch this, Miss Gina. Type in the chat, my ILF people, who have beds available and where you're located. Gina, I'm finna blow your mind. Katara, Mr. Harry, Joanne, Miss Shay. I'm gonna call all y'all out. Angela. Who else in here? Let me see. Tia. Let me see. Who else in here got housing that's under us? Right now, if you got an ILF or any kind of housing program with empty beds, put in the chat right now where you're located and say, I have empty beds. Because I have some in Orlando and I got some in Kissimmee. And I'm looking for another house already. That's how that works, Miss Gina. Remember that I said with this model, you don't always need the real estate. You need the relationship. And Gina, lucky for you now, you and your family, you got the relationship with us. You know us now. You know people in this chat. Miss Campbell got 5 beds in Missouri. Katara got a bed in South Carolina. Gina got beds in herself in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan too, by the way, Miss Gina. Been a long-term Spurs fan. Tia got empty beds in Haines City. Katy, Texas, Miss Krista. See what I mean? That's the example, ladies and gentlemen. Why wouldn't you want to be an HRA? Because whether you have a house or not, this is where you're going to start it. whether you have a house or not. The training for the HRA is an absolute no-brainer. Let's take a break, guys, and we'll be right back. If you've ever had a dream to house the homeless or the displaced or to start your own housing program, but the barrier for you was actually getting the real estate to do it in, we got something that's almost even better for you. And it's called the HRA, Business in a Box. The HRA allows you to be a housing referral agency to where you still can house the homeless and the displaced and start a housing program, but it doesn't require the real estate. You don't have to buy it, lease it, or rent it. You're going to leverage other people that actually have the real estate and then make a referral fee. So we want to give you more information about that. We have a 14-minute free webinar that breaks the HRA down. So no more an excuse of not having the house to do it or not being able to buy or rent or lease a house. Because if God is putting your heart to start this program, start it. So step number 1, get an LLC and brand it, right? Step number 2, start getting the word out about who you are and what you do and that you offer housing. And again, after watching the HRA webinar, consider the HRA Business in a Box, because in that will be everything that you need to start your own housing program, and you never actually need the property. We're going to teach you how to leverage other people to still make your dreams come true. So the HRA Business in a Box is only $19.97. Check it out. Also bring your questions here to YouTube so that we can answer it for you. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you catch us at. But don't forget, the HRA stands for Housing Referral Agency, and you don't need the property to still make an impact in your community. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So that's the HRA, ladies and gentlemen. And somebody just texted to our chat. They wanted more info on the HRA. So we'll send that over. I'm actually texting right now. Shay, I'm going to probably give you this number.
I can add them to the workflow. That's fine.
Okay.
I can manually add them to the workflow.
The AC guy is calling for that property tomorrow. I'm going to have you probably give them a call right back because I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a screenshot of this real quick. This is real life ILF type stuff, guys. And also,
right? Can't make it up.
Texted me. Dale Tree just texted me that she's got a possible referral for us in Orlando. I think it's a female.
I responded in the family chat.
Dale Tree lives Wayland. I think she's in, where's Dale Trees? Is it South Carolina or North Carolina? But that's how that works. The only difference is I don't really want that coming to me. That needs to go to Jess. But Jess is off from 9 to 5. But I love it because she's family. She's a part of our ICC member. So she's got that one-on-one coaching as well. So she can take that to me anytime she get ready. So we're going to look forward to helping whoever that is. Just open was denied for biometric growth. What? I do not see. I'm going to send this to the, see, this is real world problems right here. Send this to my landlord having some AC issues with one of the units. I'll just talk about that for 2 seconds too. They have coverage on these units in terms of having a home warranty so that the AC and the hot water heater and the washer, the dryer, and all of these things can be covered. So that's a good thing. Shay, do you still have those slides pulled up with the social worker thing? I never kind of got into that.
Give me 1 second. So just
if you don't heads up, I can jump on to something else.
No, I just called that number and that number is not working for a callback. So you may have to just text them.
Okay. And I did actually. I text as well.
Okay.
Let me give you actually the number they called from.
Just text it to me. And also, Derek, because I'm not on my multi-screen, I'm having issues streaming, sending it. So hold on 1 second. I'll try again.
No worries. I could actually move on to something else because there's actually other questions that came in too. So that's fine. Okay. The two-son family also wanted to know, let me see. Can they get, actually, this is from 2 people. Somebody in the chat text this and the two-son family. Are they allowed to receive mail at my place? Absolutely. I want them to establish home. So I don't mind that. There are some tricky things that can get into that if you get a crummy client. I won't get into that on this call, and there could be a downside to that, but I absolutely don't mind giving them the ability to receive mail there. But I do coach people that if you're uncomfortable with that, you can get a PO box. But for certain situations, certain people that you're going to be housing, they need that home address, guys. And remember, I'm in this to change the lives of people. So I want whatever I can do to help them in life, right? No matter, no different from the guy and broke my heart. Watch this. I had a guy leave me Saturday, just last minute, no notice, just boom, gone. But it was due to a better opportunity. And if I'm truly in it to say that I'm a stepping stone for where people are going, I really can't get mad at that. I've been housing this gentleman for probably, I'll say about 9 months. Perfect guy. Wants a shared room, didn't want that shared stuff. And man, they keep calling me. And I need to catch this call. Hey, Shay, can you call them back really quickly? Because if we don't answer it, they won't
I
put
just
me on
tried
for
calling, so
tomorrow.
just answer it real fast because I just tried calling and it didn't pick up.
Well, take over real quick on here, Shay, and I'm gonna try to take it.
Absolutely. So you're talking about mail forwarding or mail coming to the property. So for me, Derek, what I do at the Angela Denise Foundation is I do allow them to get mail. Like Derek told you all earlier in this conversation about the gentleman that was living at the airport. His issue of being terminated from one of his jobs was because he had no fixed abode, right? And that means no stable housing. So what we're trying to do is, if the goal for the whole ILF or the independent living facility model is to help people go from homeless to hopeful. And by being that agent of change for them and helping them to establish that housing form, that housing, that is definitely a key point that we do provide. I know there are some instances where you can limit that, but what you don't want to turn yourself into, as well as the mailman or mailwoman, right? If you send it to a PO box, or you make them or the individual get the PO box, that's already cutting into limited income that they already have. So you want to think of it from multi different, from a multitude of angles when it comes to the address, a mailing at the home address. Ultimately, like Derek said, the people think that, oh, it helps because they're receiving mail, it's making them a resident. But when you have the appropriate documents, you can kind of avert that. You can avoid that situation because of the lingo or the verbiage that's in your room agreement. So that's something that we get into more in depth in coaching. That's something we don't really hone in on social media, because we don't want anybody taking this information, getting into trouble, and then trying to say, well, we heard from Forston Consultants that you can do blah. No. We want to make sure that you all are being guided and covered and protected appropriately when it comes to providing shared housing utilizing the ILF model. So yes, I do allow my residents to obtain mail at the home. That has not been an issue for me. And again, like I said, I'm covered by the verbiage that is in my uh, lease or rental agreement that my residents sign. So Derek, back to you, sir.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. So again, just real world stuff happening live, right? Got an AC that went out today, and it's a house that I lease. I don't own it, y'all. So the landlord has to take care of that, right? So I'm glad that kind of happened because we're in the middle of it. So I could show you guys my text message, but he's on it. And I'll admit, guys, most of my landlords are slumlords. They don't want to fix nothing. But this one landlord for this one property, as soon as I text or call about any problems, man, he's jumping right on it. And again, in this business, I really appreciate that because we're running a business, running a ministry. So if the AC goes down, I don't want to wait 2 weeks until the guy fixes it, right? So this guy's on the phone with the people right now. So things are happening. And it's summertime, so you can't afford really to be without the AC for a couple of days, right? Here in Florida, we do get some cool evenings at times. But most of the time, up until about 5 or 6 o'clock, man, it is scorching outside. So we don't play that AC game here in Florida. To us, that's an emergency. Okay. So for the Tucson family, one more time, you guys want to see kind of what it looks like, just like this. Obviously, in these rooms, those beds are bigger, but for the most part, this is coming from a twin bed model. Okay. This right here again is that twin bed model. And then I'm gonna go back to the chat because there were some other things that were there. But actually, I'm 1 minute from actually having to close this whole room. Typically, we're here for about 90 minutes. But because we have a lot of new people that just joined us for the first time tonight, I want to make sure that I respect them and I answer every question that came in. Remember, that's what we specialize in, is answering all of the questions that you guys can't, that you all have. And again, most of our drive right now until the 21st of this month is for our event. So again, don't forget. Oh, and thank you to the 3 people that text half. So there's an odd number. So we do need another person to match that last person up with. But again, if you want our one-on-one coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, you can actually split it in half. And we told people to text the word half to 407-326-0086. And then again, you have a partner, or if it ends up that we can match you with somebody, you guys can split that $7,500 right in half, and you still come to the June event complimentary, no cost to you. So one more time, really quickly, June 21st, June 22nd is our 2024 ILF conference. And this is where one time a year, man, you guys can come and get the complete game, right? Everything. And what I'm super excited about this year is that most times we do this, it's just me running my big mouth, me and my family. But this year, guys, I'm excited because there's more than just me. So you get me, you get Shay, you got probably probably 4 other surprise speakers that I won't even talk about, but you're also going to get the business maven, Miss Lynette Green. So Lynette is the ILF accountant. So when it comes to starting your books and your QuickBooks and starting the business, should you go nonprofit or for-profit, all of that jazz, that's what Lynette is going to come talk about. Miss Desiree is going to come talk about why are we needed? Because she's a social worker, she's a case manager, she's all of that kind of balled up into one, but she's also at a supervisory role. So instead of me telling you how to communicate with these people or what you should be saying or what they're thinking, I'm bringing them this year. And this is the first time that we've ever done that. We're also bringing Ms. Maggie, that's also in a supervisory role, and she works for a company that's called Chris Stylus, and they are a mental health provider and overall health in multiple states. They need your help when they come to this event. They got a lot of housing for their people that they need, and they want to not only come and present, but also show and explain, why are you guys needed? Why do her clients need an ILF versus a regular group home? Because they serve a lot of people that may be ILF material, or they could be a population that may be more suited for an ALF. They're going to have both, okay? Joy Sterling is going to come. Joy and I are going to do a role play together, and we're going to show you guys how to leverage a professional. This is when I teach you guys what to say and how to say it to these social workers, case managers, and more importantly, the homeowner. But how better is it that somebody that's already considered a trusted professional, they present what I teach you all. So essentially, inside of my coaching, when I give you guys the words to say to the homeowner, it's great that you got it, but find a professional realtor to use it, and they look better presenting and asking the question, can we rent this house, versus you. So one more time, really slowly. If I call a guy named Carl Wilson to ask to rent his house to run my program, Carl gonna be like, dang, bro, really? Like, no, man, I don't do that. But if Miss Joy calls as a trusted professional, I'm going to show you guys how to use them and give them the coaching that I literally give you all. I'm excited about Miss Howard coming personally because I want to know about tax deeds and tax liens. So when we talk about creative ways to get properties, creative ways not to spend a bunch of money on buying a house, we're going to talk about tax liens and tax deeds now, because Shay and I spent a bunch of money buying this house that we just got and a bunch of money rehabbing it. I want to skip that process. And how can I buy a house for $8 grand? How can I buy a house for $1,400? How can I buy a house for $3,000? I want to experience that. So again, aside from everybody that you're seeing, there's still going to be more speakers. Renee Scott, to me, is going to be the cheat code for a lot of y'all, because this is the insurance lady. One of the biggest mistakes I made, y'all, was trying to do this and not being insured the right way, and also dummy me, putting my name on that lease. Renee is going to coach you guys and tell y'all the verbiage to use, the right words to say. You ain't opening up no group home, first of all, okay? That's step number 1. You are not opening a group home, and Renee going to tell you about it and what you should be saying. So I'm excited about that because again, as I said, every year we do this. It is typically just me and my family that gives the game away, and we're guiding you all to all of these people saying what they would say or how they would handle it. No more of that. We're literally bringing you guys the people that specialize in it, and you still get me. So again, this day starts at 9 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is our ILF conference. It starts at 9 a.m. on a Friday, and it'll end at 6 p.m. or 5-ish, 6 p.m. on that same Friday. And then for the VIP and the elite people, remember, you guys are going to join us for day 2 because you guys want to see what it looks like. And we're going to tour and walk you guys through an active running facility. Okay. Next question. Let's see. Let me get another one out of here. Jennifer says, it just seems like it would be a hard to evict them quickly if they are getting mail there. Not really.
I can go back to that as well, because
Yeah.
that's what I
Go ahead,
was
Shay.
stating. That's what I was stating earlier. Your occupancy or lease agreement has to have everything in it legally. And that's one of the benefits that we've been able to establish that relationship with a real estate attorney. And they've helped us to cultivate a lease agreement that is, well, not really a lease agreement because that's not the name of it, but it identifies all of the parameters of your program, and anything outside of that program that that client or that potential resident does not meet or does not adhere to is room for eviction. So it's not about getting mail at the house that minimizes or makes it difficult for the eviction process. It's making sure that you are following up, keeping notes, keeping your documentation on the said resident to help facilitate that eviction process. An eviction is an eviction is an eviction, right? It doesn't matter if it's, your standard single family, whether it's a roomie, it doesn't matter whether they're getting rent mail there or not. As long as you have the necessary requirements in your signed agreement, a signed agreement, you are it doesn't make it difficult at all. Derek and I did an eviction, well, wasn't in an ILF, but this is someone that was renting the property that we purchased, and they just decided that they didn't want to leave. I'm not leaving. You can't put me out. You can't make me go. It's sad to say
And
it
Florida
took
has
less
an
than,
amazing squatter law now too. So we
yeah,
love
and
that.
and that's
So all
another
of the
thing too.
laws are
Yeah,
being driven to, suit us. And we love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Shay?
But ultimately, Derek, what did it take? I mean, our complaint was in front of the docket. It was like it was in front of someone within 2 weeks, and technically, this individual decided they wanted to counteract the eviction. So what ended up happening, like, it was less than a month. Like, it took us about 3 weeks. It took an additional extra week because her attorney realized that she had no leg to stand on. And all of the documentation that we needed to provide was in place. So it's all about making sure that you have the right documentation when it comes to any type of eviction. And most times, if you file any forms wrong, it will start you from square one. So you've just got to be mindful of the process, and truly dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and make sure that you have all the necessary proof to go with it. And you're pretty much in the game, whether they get rent there or not. So we've seen it, and I'm gonna be honest, like, all of our years in the ILF model, we've had one eviction, and that didn't even make it to court.
Yeah.
Didn't even make it to court because by
And there's a
time we,
lot of coaching that goes into that
yeah,
too. Like, trust me, when we first started, we thought we had to evict all of these people.
and you
But the
don't.
longer you're in this and the longer you learn it and you learn people, and paperwork is very important. I'm gonna just say that. And that's why we also give y'all the paperwork. Our paperwork that they sign helps us evict them or discharge them, as we like to say.
Hmm.
And again, as long as you got that talk game right and your paperwork is matching up to it, like, that's what really matters. I can sound great with all of this stuff I'm talking, but if my paperwork don't add up to it, it's useless. But with the talk game and the paperwork that they sign on day one, it helps us remove them, because our paperwork clearly states that if you don't follow the rules here, you must leave. Like, it's that simple. right? And then a lot of times when you get multiple properties, Miss Jennifer, I've experienced this a lot. Once I got more than just one property, let's just say I got Brian Jones that is not doing so well at my Glen Lake one house. You would be amazed of how well Brian can do when I move him to Glen Lake 2. Okay. I learned that through trial and error, right? Instead of just discharging the guy when he became crummy, I said, you know what, bro? My program is called Second Chance Housing. I'm going to give you a second chance. We're going to relocate you to a different property and let's see if it works there. Wow. Some people only need a change of scenery. So when you get multiple properties, let me just give you some free coaching. Don't be so quick to try to discharge or kick somebody out. Give them a second chance and allow them to go to a different location, because a lot of times that can solve your problem just like that. How do I know? I learned that like that.
And Derek, that's the importance of that whole knowing who you're housing,
Yep.
knowing the residents that you have. So when you bring in an additional resident, it doesn't cause strife or disturbance. There's something that I've got to go deal with this week with my ladies, right? And that's based on, and it is not even it's a resident issue, but it's more so a family issue as well. So I've got to get the family involved because of the way this issue is panning out. And I'll speak about that to the elites when they come to the open house. We'll talk about that because I'll be able to show you how I'm going to rectify the issue.
Absolutely. Another thing that the Tucson family actually kind of about what we'll be covering is how to do this, how to connect with these social workers and case managers. And again, instead of me just bragging and talking about it, I'm bringing Miss Maggie, I'm bringing Miss Desiree so that they can explain it. But essentially for the Tucson family, we get these clients or residents from some of these following places right here, right? But guess what again that I've been doing for the last, again, 12 to 24 months? I advertise in Walmart, Publix, Kroger, the gas station, the mall, the gym. So my flyer game, guys, is sick. I pass out flyers everywhere. And my flyer game was simply, again, because again, I want all of you guys to befriend me on Facebook, right? At Derek Forston. Let's be friends. But we post a lot of stuff there. And again, a couple months ago, I posted a gentleman that saw my flyer in Walmart by the eggs. Because I put my flyers by the eggs, by the protein, by the milk, by the dairy, by the yogurt, by the pizza, by the frozen popsicles, by the frozen sweet peas, by the frozen black-eyed peas, by the socks, by the t-shirts, by the weight loss, by the Advil. See where I'm going, guys? So I'll go in a place like Publix or Walmart and splatter that place with flyers. Because guess why? The janitor that's sweeping the floor, he may have a brother that's homeless. So I throw them on the floor. I put them by the Doritos, by the Lay's, by the ice cream. See where I'm going, guys? Because to me, flyers is a numbers game. If I pass out 60 flyers in Publix, you mean to tell me I can't find 3 people in there that may need a place to live? Whether that's the cashier that picked it up off the ground, whether that's the guy that was coming to grab the bag of Doritos and my flyer was right there. Need housing? Call us here. So again, the flyers is a numbers game, but I'm going to hospitals. I'm going to substance abuse centers. I'm having my virtual assistant, Jess, call all of these places. Cold emails, cold calling, flyers. Because again, if you got a 4-bed, 2-bath home, you only need 8 people, guys. 500 flyers, you think you can't find 8 people? That's the way that I view that. We're also going to be talking about in your city. Who is your local COC? Where's your local shelter? The homeless shelter. Who's over housing, affordable housing in your community? You need to be hooked up with all of these people. Because again, if you're in the community trying to do this, we all need partnerships. And I'm going to give you guys an example that I talk about all the time, and then we'll get ready to close in a minute. But I play that video all the time about the people that are homeless in the airport. We finally got a call from a guy that's been sleeping in the airport for 2 months.
One Atlanta city councilman says the city's homeless population seems to have grown and become more aggressive, and he points to what he calls deplorable behavior at the world's busiest airport. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor takes a closer look at the problem and how the city council might handle it.
If you have been in downtown Atlanta near the connector or out at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport lately, you have likely seen that the homeless problem is growing. One Atlanta City Council person says it's time to address it.
What's going on in the airport is horrible. It is deplorable.
Atlanta City Councilman Michael Julian Bond says the world's busiest airport is dealing with a homeless problem that has gotten out of hand. Bond says business owners and travelers alike are being subjected to unimaginable circumstances.
So again, guys, I'm just showing you reasons of why we're all needed. So, and guess what I also thought of? Guess where's a new place where I'm going to be advertising now? Why not go to the airport? Why not find a friend or a family member or somebody that works in the airport to drop your flyers all over the place? Why not the next flight you take in your city, you do like I do, and you drop flyers everywhere. You put them on the wall. You put the ones that got tape on the back. Now, some people are embarrassed by this. Some of y'all will hear this and be like, no, Derek, that ain't my style, bro. Well, that's you. No problem. I don't down you for not doing it. But I know 8 years ago, when I told Shay, my wife, I said, babe, I think I'm finna quit my job. I think I found the next thing that's going to save our life and our family. Guys, I couldn't make no excuses when I told Shay that. So for me, again, it was a numbers game. I'm going to pass out flyers. Does that make sense, everybody? Give me two people that makes sense to you, that the flyer game is a numbers game. If I can print 500 flyers for $60, you kidding me? So that's why, again, for me, I'll always say it, the flyer thing, guys, it's a complete numbers game. Watch this and we'll be right back.
Take a drive down Los Angeles' Skid Row, filled with tents, people, and growing frustration.
If I can get back into another residence, then I won't make the same mistakes I made before.
According to new federal data, a record number of people are now unhoused, more than 653,000, a 12% population increase since last year. Mel Tilakaratna runs a nonprofit that provides free showers to people living on the street.
The system is completely overwhelmed.
Tilakaratna points to a rise in housing costs, the opioid epidemic, mental health issues.
And guys, anybody like that guy that is helping people, but he don't have enough beds, you should be partnering with people like that in your city. Think of your city right now in terms of where you live as, and this guy's problem that he just told you that he has. It's overwhelming. Why wouldn't you partner with somebody like him? Watch this one and we'll be right back.
To a 2022 report, an estimated 359 veterans across our state face homelessness.
Transitions Homeless Shelter is opening a new dorm to help get some of those veterans off the streets. News 19's Becky Buds reports.
2 months ago, Navy veteran Zachariah Shaheed found himself without a place to live before Transitions Homeless Center took him in.
Concrete is not somewhere anyone wants to be.
Shaheed was one of the 359 veterans across South Carolina facing homelessness, according to the latest National Point-in-Time Homeless Report.
I'm just thankful and grateful that I've become one that's not of that statistic now.
A new dorm at Transitions aims to bring that number down in Columbia.
28 more beds, 28 more options. That's going to help put a dent in the problem.
CEO Craig Curry said.
And again, to me, that's just another example of another place or a company that you should be partnering with. You guys saw the video. He can't house everybody. So why not give that guy flyers? Why not call that guy? So the Lamont family was asking, well, Derek, where are we getting these people from? Places just like that. Because when I first started, it was only hospitals, social services like the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, the homeless shelter. A lot of the programs that are tied to this, what we call mailbox money, to where they'll pay you for these people, guys, they're tied into the homeless shelter in your city. Did you know that? So a lot of the homeless shelters in your city, the programs are tied into it, and they're looking for people like us because they can't house everybody. The Lamont family, again, this is what it looks like. A single family home. This can be a 3-bed, 2-bath home, a 4-bed, 2-bath home. It can be a mobile home if it's on its own land. And I tell everybody, ignore the trash because that was trash day. and forget about that for sale sign because they bought this house to do this in. And just like I told you, as long as the inside looks like this, I'm not all caught up on what the outside looks like. I just don't want no roaches, no rats. I don't want your roof to be leaking. We offering a clean, safe living environment. Not a place full of rats and roaches like I saw a lady doing, making 41 grand a month doing it. So if you just joined us, that's my whole story. God showed me a lady that was making $41,000 a month doing this, y'all. She was just doing it in rats and roaches. So I tell people, man, can you imagine having a business to where the blessing of God was already built into it? That's what this is, ladies and gentlemen. And you can get bougie and get a big house like this because I got some of these too. And I tell most of y'all, watch this now, because I be real careful when I say this. But most of y'all listening to me right now, you can get one of these and leave your job. I'm going to pause and let you swallow that for 2 seconds. Most of you that are watching this right now, you can get one of these 6 to 7 bedroom homes and you can quit your job immediately almost once you get one of these because of the numbers that it does. Hey, what's going on, family? I'm super excited because June 21st and 22nd is the 2024 ILF conference. That's right. We're super excited because it's in Orlando, Florida this year. So guys, if you ever thought about starting your own housing program, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is the event for you. If you're a real estate investor and you're looking for a better way to serve people and actually make more money and also have a bigger impact in your community, this event is exactly what this is. 2024, the ILF conference, guys, is going to show you how we take people from homeless to hopeful and it not be a group home or an assisted living facility. We're going to teach you guys how we start unlicensed group homes, which we've trademarked independent living facility. And again, you guys are going to visit forstonconsultants.com for more information, but you're definitely going to visit ilfconference.com to get the information for the June event. There'll be a general admission ticket. We got some VIP tickets and we have 15 elite tickets for people that want a little bit extra just versus being at the event. That comes with also a one-day mastermind and a lot of other stuff. But definitely go and check out ilfconference.com for more information and don't meet me there, beat me there. All right. So back to the presentation, guys. And again, this right here is my favorite model. I often tell people, though, no matter how small or big, my favorite model is the 4-bed, 2-bath home. Okay. And that gives me the opportunity to take 8 people from homeless to hopeful that otherwise would be homeless on the street without me. So one more time, I often tell people too, man, it doesn't really take me to tell you that you should be doing this. God probably already told you that. God is just genius how he's now merged us together to either rekindle that fire in you or to introduce you to something new. So again, if you're new to us, I just want to say thank you again for joining us today. I hope we gained an extra friend. I hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also befriend me on Facebook. Follow me on TikTok at Derek Forston. But everywhere else at Forston Consultants, you can pretty much find us. If you type in Forston Consultants, we'll pop right up. But on TikTok and Facebook, make sure that you also befriend me at Derek Forston. Those are the only 2 things that are not at Forston Consultants or. So befriend me on Facebook, Derek Forston. Send me a friend request. Be nosy, most important. I want you to go on my page and be nosy. Look at all of the content and all of the teaching that we're giving you to do this. Like I said, my goal is to give y'all more game on this live for free than most of y'all have paid for a course or a curriculum, right? And I almost guarantee that there is nobody that will outcoach us when it comes to this shared housing environment. There is nobody that has a better product or plan than we do. Because remember, we build your website. It's an all-in-one system that includes your phone, your text messaging, and your social media. We build your logo. You get the one-on-one coaching. We give you a complimentary virtual assistant. All the paperwork that comes with it, you get it. Every ebook, all the curriculum, you get it. And again, that June event is absolutely complimentary for anybody that chooses that coaching. And just for the last time that I'll announce it, you guys can split the ILF Mastery Blueprint in half. If you do want our one-on-one coaching, there was 3 people that already responded to it. So again, if you either bring your partner or we can merge you with somebody. But if you text the word split or half, either one of those words, text the word half to 326-0086, and it's scrolling across the bottom of that screen now. You can literally pick somebody from this room. You can bring your own partner, but we are going to allow you guys to split our coaching in half, and you both still get the VA. You both still come to the event. We don't change nothing about the coaching just because you're splitting it. And what's involved in it, one more time, is the logo. We're going to build it. Your website presence, we're going to build it. And the great thing about your website, it includes your phone system, text messaging, and calling. Give it to you. Okay? We also are going to give you the one-on-one coaching. Yeah, you got a lot of game tonight, but can you imagine if you got my personal cell phone number and I'm in your back pocket now and we become family? That's what the one-on-one coaching is. And then after that, every ebook, every curriculum, and every course that we've ever created when it comes to housing the homeless and the displaced, you get it. You also get the housing referral agency package that's inside of here. That's for people that say, well, Derek, I want to do this, but I don't have a house yet. The housing referral agency allows you to house the homeless and the displaced without the need for a property. So we give you the course, we give you the curriculum, we give you the ebook, we give you the phone scripts, and we give you the how-to of how to get the property. We put that in the ebook for you so that you can have it in your pocket. But remember, you still got me. So regardless of all of this paperwork and all of this stuff that you get, most importantly, guys, you get me, and you also get a complimentary virtual assistant. I go over the medication stuff with you or what to look out for. The virtual assistant to me is one of the biggest cheat codes, a part of this whole plan, because most of you guys are just like me. You're not very techy. You're not very good at social media, and you may not have time to answer your phone all day for 8 hours a day. That's where the virtual assistant comes in at, guys, for only $5 an hour. And then you get 3 VIP communities, one for the virtual assistants, one for the HRA, and one for the one-on-one coaching. And then last but not least, one more time, man, it's hard to beat it, but we give you the June event absolutely complimentary. So you do not pay for the June event, ladies and gentlemen. So again, if you want to split that or go half with somebody, just text the word half, HALF, to 407-326-0086, and we'll match you with somebody if available, or you can bring your own partner in and you guys can split that product in half. Hey, what's going on, family? Are you somebody that needs some help in your life or your business? Are you somebody that has a lot of ideas, but you can't quite get them out? You probably need a virtual assistant, guys. And again, at $5 an hour, that's an absolute cheat code for you, your life, your family, and your business. Because oftentimes these virtual assistants, guys, can do a lot of what we can't. And they often come with a bachelor or a master's degree. So when it comes to the educational side of it, guys, these VAs are, again, the cheat code to everything that you're probably looking for. Most of you guys have a full-time job, so it's hard to kind of implement a lot of the ideas that God has given you or the ideas that are in your heart. You should be visiting va101.co to get a virtual assistant that can help you in your life and your business and get some of these ideas out of your brain onto paper and then to implementation. One more time, visit va101.co, not .com, but va101.co, and get a virtual assistant, guys, for $5 an hour. It's the cheat code, and it'll be the best decision that you ever made, I promise. All right. So good stuff. And again, just thank y'all one more time for allowing me also to go over tonight. We usually have a 90-minute room, but ever since we've been advertising the event for the last 2 months, we've been going well over. A lot of questions. And again, thank y'all for the questions. So now all you got to do now is go be nosy on our social media. Make sure you watch the introductory webinar. And again, just text more info, and that's at the bottom of that screen. So if you guys want to get on the phone with me to talk about your situation, how we can get you started in your city, especially you people that typed in that word have, go ahead and do that. And that's at 407-326-0086. And again, I'm going to check the chat one more time for questions, but I think that's it. So thank y'all so much, man. We love questions. I'm going to check this one last time for any questions. And I think that's it. So now all you guys got to do now is go and pray. Go talk to God and say, God, I think I heard the cheat code tonight. That Forston family, they seem to have it. And God, if that's who you want me to be with, make the way easy. Right? So we believe in prayer. We believe in getting the proper permission from God. Because again, this is a shared living environment. Doesn't require a license. You don't have to own the property. You don't need permission from your state. And the reason we're able to do that, ladies and gentlemen, is because we're housing people that are completely independent. They don't need you to cook their food. You don't need to drive them around to doctor's appointments. And you do not by any means administer medications. If you forget everything else that I said tonight, please take that away from me. That's what gets most people in trouble, or that's what will stop you from starting your dream, because you think you got to administer medications, you think you got to provide transportation, and you think you needed an industrial kitchen to cook their food. Absolutely not. We're serving people that don't need none of that from you. All my clients need from me, guys, is a roof over their head, for me to keep the lights running, the water running, and that Wi-Fi running, because they love that Wi-Fi, y'all. So you got to make sure, because we call ourselves a one-stop shop. So when we're housing people, my clients don't have separate bills, whether that's the private suite, whether that's the private room, or whether that's that shared environment. We're known as a one-stop shop. So for me, $700 covers the lights, the water, the cable, the Wi-Fi, the security system, the cameras, all of that stuff, their lease, all that's wrapped up in that $700. The Wi-Fi, no additional bills. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I finally did what you guys been asking me to do for probably about 2 or 3 years now. We get a lot of questions for people that says, Derek, do you just sell the paperwork? Derek, do you have a do-it-yourself version? And guys, I'll admit, we've never had that. We truly believe in the one-on-one coaching, but the more that we listen to you all as our customers and as our family, my job is to do what you guys need, which is a lot of people have been asking for the do-it-yourself version of the ILF Mastery Blueprint. So guys, we've done that. So for only $2,497, we've created a version of the ILF Mastery Blueprint where you can actually do it at your own pace. And again, everything's involved except for me being the one-on-one coach. So again, one more time, we want to offer to you guys a do-it-yourself version of the ILF Mastery Blueprint. And you guys can visit forstonconsultants.com/IMB-DIY. And that's for people that says, Derek, I just want the paperwork. And Derek, I don't need your one-on-one coaching. I want to do this at my own self-pace. And guys, we've listened. So we've developed the ILF Mastery Blueprint do-it-yourself version. And again, for only under $2,500, that's a no-brainer. And that is something that you want. You guys can either visit the website or simply just text my team DIY to the phone number 407-326-0086. One more time, you can text the word DIY to 407-326-0086, and we'll get you the information that you need to be able to move forward so that you can do it at your own pace. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the top. All right. So, guys, as we get ready to end this room, again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Also, my team wanted me to remind you guys that registration ends Friday for the conference. So, again, if you want to be a part of the 2024, guys, it's going to be absolute. Oh, my God, it's going to be so great. And the food is going to be amazing. I promise, because we already did the food tasting. So, again, Friday of this week is the absolute last day to register. So we implore you guys to go ahead and do that. As we always say, don't wait to be great. That general ticket is only $397, covers every speaker in day one. The VIP and the elite, you'll join us for day 2 for the tour of an active ILF. And that elite member, don't forget, you guys bring your spouse or your business partner complimentary for free. And we also have an exclusive dinner for the elite members that night. And then the elite members also get a separate online masterclass to go deeper on everything that you hear us talking about now at the event, and that can go deeper than that. Also, keep in mind, there's be several things and topics that we'll talk about at the event that I would never say out loud here on a YouTube channel. So make sure that you guys make time for that event. Again, it's June 21st, June 22nd. One family asked us, was it recorded? No, this is an in-person event. It's not recorded and it's not going to be streamed. I mean, I think my team's going to record it for us, but it's not going to be streamed and it will not be resold. This is an in-person event only, okay? And I'm going to end it with this. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you guys more time for something he's already told you to act on. I know for you all, that may not fit y'all, right? But I'm just going to put it out there. If God has already told you to do this, guys, what are you waiting on? Your blessing is already tied into somebody else, meaning the people that God has already ordained for you to be housing and to be helping. That's where your blessing is tied into. that financial blessing that you've been praying and begging God for, guys, is tied into this. I was the same way, begging God to change my life, begging God to make me somebody in my community, begging God to get into real estate and get better with my finances. Guys, it was all tied up in this. If I was still that poor social worker, I know without a doubt my life would be the same as it was. But as soon as I got into a business or a ministry that was bigger than me and that literally did God's will, because remember, guys, this ain't Derek saying this, guys. God said the poor and needy will always be among us, y'all. He said we're to take care of these folks. He also said that if we do it unto the least of thee, God said it's like he's doing it unto him. So I can't think of a better business or job or thing to be into to where God's already got the stamp of approval on it. So again, guys, I always tell you, ask for the proper permission. Tell God you want to do it, but God already know this is on your heart. He already told you, right? So tonight, you just pray that God, if we are the ones to guide you, make the way easy. So without anything else being said, I'm going to pray you guys out of here, man. I'm going to get y'all out of here. So thank y'all again. I appreciate it. Also, if you enjoyed this room, if you can just do me a big favor, y'all don't owe me a dime. I'm not going to pass around an offering plate or none of that. But if you can give me a Google review in terms of the information that you received tonight and give us a 5-star Google review, we would appreciate that. So if you go to Forston Consultants, or Shay, if there's a way to put a link in the chat, I'm not sure about that. But if you all can go to Forston Consultants on Google or however you do that Google review, we would appreciate a 5-star Google review for about 10 of y'all. And we would greatly appreciate that. So I'm going to pray you guys out of here, man, and I'm going to go. So again, thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, right back in this room. Okay. Now, besides the event that's going on the 21st, we usually talk about on Tuesdays, virtual assistants and the greatest software system that runs all of our businesses, which is called digitalflowsolutions.net. We just call it DFS, but Digital Flow Solutions. One more time, digitalflowsolutions.net. That's going to be your CRM and your website and your phone system and your social media and your email all in one. Your DocuSign all in one. So what DFS literally does for you all, you can get rid of all of those external applications that you have because everything can be done inside of Digital Flow Solutions. So DocuSign, your MailChimp, you can get rid of all that stuff. Your phone system, your text messaging system, it all comes inside of digitalflowsolutions.net. Check it out, and we'll come back tomorrow at 6 p.m. and talk about it. Father God, thank you so much for the seed that was sown tonight, God. Thank you so much for the ability to give what you just so graciously given me. Father God, today, by your Holy Spirit, bring all of this information back to these people's remembrance. And God, allow them to move at the speed of instruction. Father God, the devil is a liar today, and he is under our feet. The devil has no place in these people's life, their family, or their business. And God, before they ever get their set of keys, the first set of keys to this place, we dedicate their business to you now. Father God, thank you for allowing them to be the overseer over it. But God, thank you for being the ultimate CEO and the one that causes us to be successful. Because God, we're doing this because you said the poor and the needy will always be among us. And God, you've given us a way to house them without the need to have a license and with all of that hassle from our state. So Father God, allow these people to move again at the speed of instruction. Allow for resources to run them down. And Father God, allow for the people that you've already ordained before the earth ever even began that they would house. Father God, line it up. Because God, this is real estate, is social services, and the love of God all wrapped up into one. So God, be genius in their lives like you always are and allow it to all work together. Because God, we love people, and we love real estate. And God, with your permission, we want to mash and mesh all of those together to do your will. So Father God, I pray that each and every person that's hearing me right now, that their city is welcoming this. Their city, we look to them to be the answer. And again, God, we'll give you all glory, we'll give you all honor, and we'll give you all praise, and we'll take no credit. We'll give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to God's power that worketh in us. Amen, amen, amen. If you guys believe that, say amen. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, right back here. Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forston Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forston Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forston Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information. Hey, what's going on, family? I'm super excited because June 21st and 22nd is the 2024 ILF conference. That's right. We're super excited because it's in Orlando, Florida this year. So guys, if you ever thought about starting your own housing program, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is the event for you. If you're a real estate investor and you're looking for a better way to serve people and actually make more money and also have a bigger impact in your community, this event is exactly what this is. 2024, the ILF conference, guys, is going to show you how we take people from homeless to hopeful and it not be a group home or an assisted living facility. We're going to teach you guys how we start unlicensed group homes, which we've trademarked independent living facility. And again, you guys are going to visit forstonconsultants.com for more information, but you're definitely going to visit ilfconference.com to get the information for the June event. There'll be a general admission ticket. We got some VIP tickets and we have 15 elite tickets for people that want a little bit extra just versus being at the event. That comes with also a one-day mastermind and a lot of other stuff. But definitely go and check out ilfconference.com for more information. And don't meet me there, beat me there. We figured out your problem. You have a great business or a great business idea. You just don't have a website. So visit digitalflowsolutions.net and get the best website in the world for only $97. And then you just pick your monthly plan. Let's get back to the content.
Have you ever wanted to open your own group home? Were you told that you needed a license from the state? Were you told that you had to hire staff? You were probably told that you had to own the property, right? Let Forston Consultants introduce you to Independent Living Facilities, ILF, which are group homes that do not require a license, staff, and you don't have to own the property. At Forston Consultants, we walk you through the entire process of how to operate your own independent living facility. We don't just give you a bunch of videos to watch on your own, which could get confusing. Here is what you need to do next, in this order. Step number 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Forston Consultants for tons of secrets on how to start your own independent living facility. Step 2, sign up for our webinar at forstonconsultants.com to learn more about this great opportunity. Step number 3, purchase our best-selling book, How to Open an Independent Living Facility in 10 Easy Steps. Step number 4, contact us for your free consultation so you can quit your boring job in the next 90 days.
Hey, what's going on, family? I super hope you guys are enjoying this information. But let's just say you want more one-on-one coaching, just like what you're receiving now. You're actually looking for our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So that's our hand-holding one-on-one coaching, where that's what most of the people that come to us, that's what they want. They don't want to just watch me on YouTube all the time, right? They want me in their back pocket for one-on-one coaching. And what's super powerful about it right now, that there's a scholarship that's actually available that brings that down to only $7,500, a long ways from the normal price of the 15 grand. So even doing this live right now, if you guys text IMB below, my team can send you over some information. But nevertheless, definitely go over and see forstonconsultants.com and check us out there as well. Let's get back to the show. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. we teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show.